Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Yeah, Kay said it. Y'all, it's been a little second, you know. But today's video is going to be about the challenges we have in walking out on faith. And just one of my testimonies is something that the Lord had told me that I should speak about. So late last year, I ended up making a decision. I ended up making a decision that I was ready for God to take control of my life and to fix everything that was going on in my life, because I seen that everything that was going on around me, it wasn't going the way that I knew God wanted it to go. And my troubles, my worries, my doubts, my fears, everything was pretty much weighing in on me at the time. And I remember thinking to myself, like, God, I don't know if I could do this on my own. Like, I don't know if I could do this alone and go through these things by myself. Like, how can I provide for my kids on my own? How can I do this on my own? You know, like, just very discouraging, but walking in, really, I was thinking from a place of fear. And I remember at the time, the Lord had came to me. He told me, I want you to depend on me the way that you depended on that man. And when I heard God tell me that, it changed everything in my life. It changed the way that I thought. It changed my passions. It changed so much in me. Like, just hearing God tell me, like, depend on me the way that you depend on him. And little did I know at the time, that was the building of my faith. Me making that decision was the building and the foundation of my faith in my adulthood. So I had finally made the decision. I had walked out on Christ. I left the guy that I was with at the time, and I didn't even have the strength to leave him, to be honest. I just asked the Lord to do everything, and I just kind of went along with how everything ended, and I left it at that. And I remember shortly after me and him broke up and my car was gone. And I was in shock. I'm like, I go outside, I'm looking, I'm like, I know my car not gone. Like, I'm in shock, like real deal shock. Like, I couldn't even call the police because I was sitting there just staring at the parking spot in the same spot that I parked my car in. So at this point, I'm like, I know my car not gone. Like, this can't be for real, you know? And I remember once I finally got myself together and I realized, like, Caitlin, yeah, your car is gone. So just, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not finna appear out of nowhere. Because that's how bad I was in shock. I literally was just staring at the parking spot. So I remember I came back in the house after I called the police, because I had called the police by that time. I came back in the house. I went in my room. My children were just looking at me, like, dang, mama, somebody, my son is so smart. He like, dang, mama, somebody stole our car, because he heard me say it. So I remember I walked in my room and I was looking up and I was just looking around my room and I was just like in shock. And I remember I screamed. I was like, I was talking to the devil, because, okay, yeah, I was talking to the devil. And I remember I screamed, I yelled, I was like, I will never choose you. Never. Like, I'm screaming this to the top of my lungs. I will never choose you. Never. Like, I was so angry. I was so angry. I was so mad, because I knew that it was something sent to me to defeat my faith, but it was also sent for my protection. I know everybody like, dang, how can your car get stolen, protect you or whatever. So at the time when my car got stolen, the guy that I was with at the time, he was always driving my car. Like, I barely even drove my own car. And at that time, I remember I would get picked up from work and I'd get in the car And I would just be so like sad. Like as soon as I would get in the car, I was sad. Like just my whole energy just went down. And I wouldn't even know why. And I would feel like that for a long time. And I was just like, dang, you know. So fast forward later on, after my car gets stolen, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get to work, how I'm going to get my kids to school, because my kids go to school all the way on the other side of town. Like, I'm just thinking about all these things, and I'm thinking about when I didn't have a car before, because I've always been a girl with a car. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Lord blessed me because I had always been humble without having a car. Like, I would walk, I would catch the bus, I catch the train, like nothing is stopping me. I want to say my last 2 years of high school, I catch the train in the bus. My last year of high school, I catch the train in the bus all the way from Marietta to Glenwood every day to go to school. I stayed in Decatur and I went to school in Marietta, and I would catch the train in the bus, and I would go to work after school every day to punch a clock. So like I never had no problems with walking. If anything, me walking built my character now, because it showed me that you can get anywhere you want to go if you have the means, the determination, and the will to do it. Like you can do anything. So yeah, I was thinking about all of those things, and dang God, I don't know why I just lost my train of thought. Okay. Had a will to thought. Da da da. Oh, yeah, so mind you, I was just thinking about all those things, like how I'm gonna get my kids to school, how I'm gonna go to work, how I'm gonna pick them up from school, how I'm gonna go to the girl. Like it was just all these things weighing in on me, right? And I remember, I just have to tell y'all how good God is. Because during this season, this was me putting my faith in God. I was departing from the person that I was with at the time. And, all these things, right? And I was thinking about how the Lord just brought this to my remembrance, and I'm getting emotional because God is so good. I talk so much about God, like us being in preparation, not knowing that we're in preparation. Like I talk to my friends about this a lot, about being in preparation, and you have to see that God is always working in the midst, because God is a smooth operator. Like I'm talking about smooth. Like when he say I'm gonna come back like a thief in the night, I believe him, because he operate like that on a day-to-day basis in our lives, and we don't even see it. So I remember before my car had got stolen, I had a coworker at my job, and me and her, we were very close friends. And I remember she had got into a car accident. And she was basically in the same situation as me, but different scenarios of your car not being there. So I remember she didn't know what she was going to do, like what she was going to do or how she was going to get a car, but it worked out in her favor, and she ended up getting a car. And she ended up getting her car upgraded to her even better car. You know what I'm saying? Fully loaded. My girl is riding good. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord going to take care of his kids. So, mind you, now I bring that up because in my season of when my car was gone, I was feeling weary. And I was very worried because it wasn't just me that I had to provide for. I had to also provide for my 2 children. Like, you know what I'm saying? And if you're a mom, you never want to disappoint your kids. You never want your kids going without. You're never like, your kids is your priority, and their happiness is a part of your priority as well. So I thought about that, and she was encouraging me in the midst of me going through what I was going through, because I would get doubts in my mind like, oh, I don't think I'm going to find a car. Like, how am I going to get a car, right? So in the midst of this, I remember when I was sitting outside as my car was stolen, I was waiting on the police to come. And I remember the Lord said, they going to find your car today. Now, mind you, at that time, I'm thinking like, yeah, they're going to find my car. It's going to be in perfect condition. Like, yeah, I'm going to be good to go. No. They did find my car the same day. They found my car the same day, and the steering wheel shaft was broken. A window was busted out. It just like the energy in the car. I remember when I went to the tow lot to pick up the car, the energy in the car was just so eerie. Like, I couldn't even see myself, like, even after cleaning the car and everything, I couldn't even see myself being in that car anymore. So I remember I was at work and I was trying to hurry up and get paid or whatever so that I could, well, I wasn't trying to rush to get paid. I was getting paid. And I remember I was like, I'm going to put $2,000 down on the car or whatever. So I remember I ended up texting, I ended up, I ended up getting a raise at work. So at that time, when I got the raise at work, it was supposed to be on that check. Look at God. Like, what's the coincidence that the time that my car gets stolen, that's the check that I'm actually getting my raise on? So I remember like my check was short. It didn't include my raise, and I had to reach out to HR and tell them like, hey, I didn't get my check, da da da. It was supposed to be X, Y, and Z. My raise was supposed to be on this check, right? So I remember people at my job, they were saying like, oh, ask so-and-so, they'll give you an advance or whatever. Like, they'll give you an advance so you can pay them back. And I remember hearing the Lord telling me, don't ask them for anything. Like, the Lord told me just that firm, don't ask them for anything. And everybody at my job was saying, they understanding people, they're good people, because I do work for some amazing people. And the Lord was like, they're good people. Like, people were saying like they're good people, just ask them for an advance. So mind you, I have all these people around me. They're not persuading me, but they're just telling me, you know what I'm saying? Like, just ask them, they'll help you. And the Lord is like, no, don't ask them for anything. So I remember I end up sending a message to one of the like HR, because I don't want to be like putting all my information out there. So I end up reaching out to HR and I tell them like, hey, my check is short, da da da. So later on, after this happens, HR gets back with me and I tell them the situation like, hey, my car got stolen. I was looking to put $2,000 down on a car. I need to get a car as soon as possible. I let them know what happened at court and everything, right? So they're like, we actually just we heard your situation and we actually just want to give you $2,000 as a donation. We normally donate to other people and organizations, and we've been trying to start working on giving to people at our job, like, at our employment, and help other people. And there it was again, like the Lord was reaffirming me. I told you not to ask them because I had already made preparation. Y'all, God is so good. He told me not to ask. I'm asking them to give me the money off of my raise, letting them know that my check was short. And the Lord told me beforehand, that's why I didn't ask them. Don't ask them, because I'm not trying to put you in another hole. I'm trying to increase you. They wired me $2,000 so I could get a vehicle. And it only gets better. So I got the $2,000. Remember, I was going to pick my kids up from school. And the lady is like, I have a friend that works at a dealership. Reach out to him. He can help you get a car. So mind y'all, I stopped paying my car note on my vehicle for the one that was stolen because I couldn't afford to pay 2 car notes, and I didn't have insurance on my car at the time because I had made a decision to be a single parent. So I was struggling. God is so good. So then I took the guy's information. I reached out to him. I let him know my car just got stolen. I only have $2,000 $2,000 down as a payment. I'm letting him know all this stuff. I'm being upfront with him. I remember one of my friends, shout out to my girl Martha. My friend came and picked me up from work. She drove me all the way out there to the dealership. The day that I came, let me tell you how stuff is like a pulling on the heartstrings. So keep this in mind. I decided to walk out on faith and lean on God like he was my man, because he is. You know what I'm saying? Within the few months after that, my car gets stolen. I come in the house, I scream to Satan and tell him I'll never choose him, because I'm so angry, because I'm looking at it as if it was an attack, which it was, but it was like it was in my favor. So then I don't have the money to get a new car, because I'm going to use my whole paycheck, and then I'm going to be broke and still don't have insurance for the car. So instead of me going broke, they give me $2,000 plus my check. Okay, y'all following me? So now I have the fight of getting approved for a vehicle, because I don't want any type of vehicle. Like I want a good vehicle, because I have kids. So I'm not going to a buy here, pay here. I'm going to the lot. I'm going up there to Ford, Hyundai, wherever it's good at. That's where I'm going. I'm going where I'm guaranteed goodness. So then I have the fight of having another vehicle on my auto, like another auto loan on my credit in general, just having it in general. Because if you know, normally banks don't approve 2 auto loans. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So now I'm at the fight of trying to get approved. So my friend takes me up there. We go up there and they tell me like, the banks aren't approving you. He's like, the banks aren't approving you, but my manager, he come in tomorrow and he know how to talk to the bank. So can you just come back tomorrow? So now I'm discouraged. I'm like, damn, like I'm paying my homegirl, because I don't like to, I have friends. I understand that my friends have life. My friends have bills. My friends have to pay the same things I pay. So I'm like, I got to pay gas money again for somebody to take me out here. My good friend, and you know what I'm saying? God send you good friends when you need it. My girl like, nah, Caitlin, you need that money. You don't have to pay me anything. So she takes me home. Martha, I love you, girl. I know you're going to watch this video. I love you. So yeah, all this stuff happens, right? So then the next day I end up telling him like, yeah, I don't want to come all the way back out here, and I'm not approved because, I have to pay to come out here, and it's not up the street. It's not nearby. It's like an hour away. So I remember he called me. Excuse me. He was like, yeah, my manager just got in. We're going to try to work on your approval, whatever. And I was like, do you really think I'm going to get approved? Like, I'm nervous at this point. I'm not going to lie. And I'm like in fear, but it's like, I know God got me. It's like, I'm on the fences about it. And he's like, just calm down. Just calm down, because you're going to get approved. Like, this is what he tell me. Like, just calm down. You're going to get approved. Like, basically telling me, like, stop thinking you're not getting approved. You have faith. God got this. This is what the salesman is telling me, y'all. This is what the salesman is telling me. Not even 5-10 minutes go by. He calls me back. He's like, yeah, Miss Mitchell, you approved. You can come on down here and get your car. You can come on down here and get your car. Okay? So I'm like, okay. I go down there. I get my car. And the Lord just brought this back to my remembrance, and I'm going to go ahead and elaborate on it. So my first video, I told you guys that the Lord had told me to start a podcast. He was having so many people speak to me and tell me that I needed to start this podcast. And let me tell you, when I walked outside and I seen that my car was gone, it was only a few items outside. The items that was sitting outside was a bag of receipts, because I kept my receipts for the year. It was a bag of receipts, a pad for your period. There was a manual to the car. And it was my podcast template one of my friends had made me. so I could start my podcast and the things that I need to start out with. So it was a little book for the podcast, period pad, a manual to the book, and a bag of receipts. And y'all, what I found funny is they threw all of these things out of my glove compartment, and I think the manual to the podcast was just somewhere in the car. And I had a whole bunch of pads like in the car. So I was wondering like, dang, why they only throw one pad out? I know that's random, but that's just what I was thinking like. And the Lord was telling me when I went down there and I was looking at the stuff that it was a sign. So let me tell you about signs with God. The first sign was the podcast book that my friend typed up for me. That was a reassurance of God telling me, I want you to start a podcast because I want you to speak. That was the first thing. The second thing was the manual. The manual was significant to God telling me that he was going to give me directions. He was going to show me how to fix and work on the things that I needed. The third thing was the bag of receipts. It was abundance of money that was going to come my way, that I was going to be covered. And the fourth thing was the pad. See, I didn't understand the pad. I'm just like, wow, God, like, what's the pad? I don't get the pad. The day I went to go pick up my car at the dealership, sitting there, my period came on. The day I went up there to pick up my car, my period came on at the dealership. And I laughed and I said, Lord, that's what the pad meant. So I'm going to keep going in this story, in this testimony, because all of it is the truth. So after that, I got my car. And I just was like, wow. It was so much. Later on, after I got the car, and this is like maybe a month, maybe two, I can't remember. But I remember I was coming home off my lunch break. And I had got my friend a gift for her birthday. And I was going to meet her after work. And before this day happened, I remember being in the shower because I had full coverage insurance. And I was like, Lord, you know, I might just try to find me some cheaper insurance. You know what I'm saying? Because this insurance ain't cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, I need to save some money. Like, I need to save. And I remember I was in the shower one morning and the Lord was like, make sure you pay your car. No, make sure you pay your car insurance. Make sure you pay your car insurance. And I'm like, what's up with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, why you want to pay this car insurance so bad? Like, I'm trying to, downgrade a little bit so I can save some money or whatever, right? And the Lord is like, I'm talking about, I'm just running down the bills in my mind, like what I'm going to pay. And the Lord is like, make sure you pay your car insurance. And like, but he keeps telling me, like, I keep hearing it being repeated in my conscience. And I know it's not my thoughts because I'm not finna keep on being like, girl, make sure you pay your car insurance. Make sure you pay. Like, I just know when the Lord is talking to me. So I'm like, okay. Like, what's up, man? Within that same day, I can't remember if it was the same day as the next day, but it was very close. Whenever it happened, it was close, both ends. So when that happened, I remember I was picking up one of my friends. Y'all end up getting into a car accident. I mean, I was coming home to pick up the gift for my friend, and I ended up getting into a car accident. Yep. And I thought to myself, I was so upset, y'all. Like, the day it happened, I was upset. I'm like, I just got this car, Like, I'm just sad. And I'm like, Lord, I'm doing everything right. I'm doing everything that you're telling me to do. I'm walking out of my faith. Like, I'm buying this stuff for this podcast. Like, I'm being obedient to your word. Like, I'm taking it to I'm repenting daily. I'm being a phenomenal mother because I'm being a phenomenal, like, I'm a phenomenal mom. Like, I correct myself. I pray for my kids. Like, I'm You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking like, what did I do so wrong for this to happen to me, right? But here it is, preparation. God is so good. So in the midst, the Lord is like, I know you're going to get into a car wreck, you know, because you don't know what I see and what I see people doing in the midst. You know, a lot of times when people are doing witchcraft and things, we think that they have power over us, but really they don't. There's no power at all. But I'm going to continue. So yeah, I remember I was driving up the road because I was still sad my car was messed up because it was drivable. The crazy part is the car accident could have been so much worse than what it was, and the Lord had to show me that because I'm over here thinking like, dang, my car jacked up. I'm riding this car, it's all beat up already. I still got the new dealer tag on it. Like, people gonna be like, dang, you ain't had that car for long and your car jacked up. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about all the stuff that don't even damn matter. I mean, it don't even matter. So I remember I was driving up the highway. I think the Lord just got tired of me like saying this in my conscience because I really wasn't talking to him. I think he was just tired of me saying it in general. And the Lord came to me so subtle, so subtle and stern, and he was like, "You still moving?" And then he said, "It's fixable." That's what the Lord told me. He said, "You're still moving, and it's fixable." So when the Lord had gave me that word, I let it go. I had full coverage insurance. 3 months later, I got my car fixed. It looks brand new again. 3 months later, I got my car fixed. And it looks brand new again. Like, phenomenal. They did an amazing job. That's what the Lord told me. And it's crazy because 3 months later, mind you, I had waited those 3 months. And all I can remember every time I looked at my car and said, I heard the Lord say, "You still moving? It's fixable." I had already had the date. Like, yeah, ma'am, your car is getting fixed in I believe it was March. Yeah, March. Like, your car is getting fixed in March. The Lord said it's fixable and you still moving. And what I'm trying to tell you is God's word didn't fail me. It was truthful. And it happened just as he said it was going to happen. He told me not to ask my job for any extra money for an advance to pay it back. He said, don't ask. Because he had already made preparations for me. I was thinking I was going to get denied when it was time for me to get the car. And that man said, just calm down. You acting like you're not going to get approved. God got this. You know, God is in control. Preparation. He gave me the correct person to buy my car. Now, let me go back to tell y'all why I mentioned about my friend getting a car, right? I remember I was getting ready to leave work. And this was the first time that my friend Martha picked me up from my job to take me to the dealership. And I remember I showed her, I was like, yeah, girl, this the dealership I'm going to get my car. And she was like, Caitlin, that's the same dealership I just got my car. Do y'all hear me? Wow. Like, what? She said, this is the same dealership I just got my car. Mind you, I never asked her where she got her car from. Like, she never showed me like where she got her car from or anything. We never had that discussion. I'm just like, girl, this car is nice. You know, I like this. You know, like, like, wow. The whole point is God is in the midst of everything. And he's always working for our favor and for our good. And he's always there in the midst. So the whole point of me telling you all this is if you were like me and you're coming out and you made the decision to let God be the operator of your life, the director, the author, the narrator, and you want to be, you know, where God ordained you to be, whatever trials and tribulations that may come your way, you'll come out on top. You'll be undefeatable. Me sitting up here making this video right now in the midst of all the spiritual things that I've been going through, because I have a lot of enemies in the realm of the spirit. When you ready to walk out on your purpose and move for God, You have a lot of things going on in the realm of the spirit. When you're able to pay attention to signs and things that are going on, you are known in the realm of the spirit. From witchcraft, warlocks, demons, people who like to astral project out of their bodies. And let me tell you all this, because the Lord is telling me this too. When you feel that presence of being at home or being anywhere, and you feel like somebody is watching you, or they're around you, or you just feel something in general, you need to say, I break the silver cord. Heavenly Father, I thank you. Thank God in the midst, and move with no fear. So Lord, you say, Lord, Heavenly Father, I thank you for waking me up this morning. I thank you for clothes on my back, shoes on my feet, food on the table. Lord, I thank you for always putting me in preparation and making an order and way. Lord, I'm in agreement with everything that you've spoken over my life before my mother's womb. I ask that you break every silver cord. Any person that would try to astral project and come into my life and monitor me, Lord, I ask that you blind them with the blood of Yeshua. Lord, I ask that you blind any witch or warlock or monitoring spirit that would come against my destiny, Lord, that will come against your ordained will and calling over my life. And I ask that you blind these things, people, entity, witches or warlocks, demons. And I ask that you consecrate me, Lord, with the blood of Yeshua. I ask that you renew my bloodline and that you consecrate my blood with the blood of Yeshua. I ask that I be drenched in his blood. I ask, Lord, that I be a shining light to those who you call me to come to. And you just pray. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of that going on. It's a lot of that going on. When I dropped my first video on here, I would have the weirdest, weird things will happen to me. But we're going to get to those videos later on. I'm just dropping bits and pieces as we go. You know what I'm saying? But the point is, I want you all to just be aware that God is always working in the midst. He's already preparing you. I don't care if you had a past relationship and you try to make understanding of why your relationship went the way that it went. It went that way that it went because that's the way it was called to be. It's preparation. You learned something from that. There was a lesson learned. You learned from it. You got what you needed. And now it's time to walk into the next season. Because anything that you went through in your past, it was preparation for your future. If you didn't go through those things, you wouldn't be the person that God needs you to be in the season that he has you in. Come into agreement with that quickly. The next time somebody tries to speak on your past, speak on things that you've done in your past, speak on anything that was just done in general, come into agreement with it. Yes, I did that. It was for my preparation. I needed to go through that, so I didn't go through that in the season that God was calling me in, where I was finna be built up and pulled into high places. The Lord said, I will prepare a table in front of your enemies. This is a season. So my table has been prayed. It's been prayed over. It's been put in preparation, and it's already ready for me to sit at it. And I'm sitting at the top of the table, not the bottom. So just remember those things, y'all. You know, that's all I have for y'all. I hope y'all like, comment, subscribe, share this video to somebody who needs to hear it, and continue to walk out on your faith. Walking out on faith is it's just so crazy because it's such a good ride. Sometimes it'd be a rocky one, but it'd be good because wow. God is good. God is good, and he always gonna show up about his kids. And I'm gonna say this again, God don't play by his kids. You mess with God kids, you gonna see him about it. All right, y'all. I love y'all. God loves you. And I hope y'all have an amazing day, and y'all be blessed, and make sure you pray.